Okay, a few of the items we're going to need for this. You're going to need cardstock. You can use just regular typing paper or poster board. We're going to make a template for our case so we know exactly where to punch out on our feet when we get to our material. So we need cardstock. One thing I thought about when I was cleaning up my mess is if you tape your paper together this direction, it's going to be long enough for your case, and you've got more room where I had my feet pretty close to the edges. So I had taped mine this direction. I usually tape it this direction. That will make it easier for you. Some tape to tape it together. Tape two pieces together. And I just use blue tape, painter's tape, so you could see that I taped them together. I usually use clear tape. We're going to need clear tape for our mistakes. We need something to mark the feet and mark our pattern of feet. I usually use a pencil and draw on the bottom of the feet to mark them, but I wanted you to be able to see it, so I'm going to use lipstick. Lipstick is kind of soft and mushy, so your bottom of your case may slide around. It doesn't with the pencil, but I wanted you to see it, so I'm going to use lipstick. We're going to decide what size hole punch we need, and there's all different kinds of hole punches you can purchase, but I just have a set of hole punches that I bought at Amazon for bag making, and it works well for this too. So I've got to decide which hole punch I need. I need something that I can put under my cardstock to punch my holes out so that I don't ruin my work mat. Rotary cutter and a ruler. One other thing that we do need something with a round, a round top, so we can put on the corners and make our curve for our template. You could use a plate, just depends. I don't want it to be a real harsh curve, so I'm going to use the top of a Germex bottle. So we've got our paper taped. Here is my case that I already made a template for. Unfortunately, robots didn't put these on, or it was not an assembly line. I would say a human sat there and put these 4 feet on. So the cases I've done, every foot is in a little different position. So I'd rather work my template out on paper than waste material. So first thing you need to do is number your feet. I have 1, 2, 3, and 4, but number them, because when you make your template, you're going to number your template 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is going to be the right side of your fabric. So when you put it down on the fabric to cut it, this is the right side. You know that your feet will match up. I've got these feet matching up, and your material has a little bit of give to it, so you'll be able to work it around those feet easily. If I flip this around and put it on, my feet no longer match up because a human put them on, and it wasn't just done automatically by a machine. So that's why we number 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is the right side of your fabric. So this template is for this case, and I'm ready to start the green case. I have the green case and all 4 feet. First thing, I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to mark lightly, because if you're using a light colored fabric for your bottom, you don't want it to come through, and don't use a Sharpie. You don't want it to come through in the glue. 2, 3, and 4. This is just for yourself, so you know this is foot 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm going to take my lipstick and there's a flat part on the bottom of these feet. Just put lipstick right on the flat part and try not to get too much, because it'll just make it slide around more as you lay your template down. Okay, I think that needs just a hair more. And take your case. This is the front of my case that I've got toward me. Set your case down on the paper and try not to move it. and I push down all 4 corners without sliding it. Whoops. And I definitely went too far this direction. So let me wipe that off and I'll redo it again. I did better when I wasn't filming. Okay, here we go again. Center it up on your paper. Oops. The front hardware, just do it towards you so that it makes it a little easier in a minute. Oh, shoot. Okay, that's good. I still have room. I kind of got it on there crooked, but that really doesn't make any difference. Okay, I still have room, and I'll show you how I cut around these hinges. So I'm done with the case. It's sitting here for now. If you use lipstick, wipe the lipstick off your feet now so you don't forget and get it everywhere. Okay. Now I have to decide my hole punch size. And, oops, I guess I do need my case back for a minute. In my little kit, I've got 3 sizes of hole punches. One side you hammer on, the other side is kind of like a knife, and mine is kind of dull. But let's see. This one is way too big, so I know I don't want the biggest one. At first I thought I wanted the middle size one because it goes perfectly down around the feet, but if you use one that goes perfectly around the feet, then when you cut your hole, you see a little bit of the wood around it. So my next option was my smallest one. Put that on and it sits on the dome, but doesn't go all the way to the bottom. That way, when I put my fabric on later, the fabric will kind of stretch out and fit perfectly around there, since the fabric has a little give. So I'm going to use the smallest size hole. That's how I determined my hole size. And first try, we are not going to get this perfect. I guarantee it won't be perfect and I'll have to fix it, but that's okay. I'm going to take my hole punch, the sharp side down, center it over my lipstick marks. Whoops, I've got to number these also. So I put my hardware toward me. When I tip my case up, this is going to be foot 1, foot 2, foot 4, and foot 3. When I put it down on here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. Okay. So then I know where those holes match up. So I'm going to center my hole punch. Hope you can see. I'm going to center my hole punch on here, and my hole punch is a little bit dull. I use it a lot. And oops, just pop those holes out of there. And if you don't want to ruin your work mat, keep it on a smaller mat. Center that up. You can also buy hole punch at the at Lowe's, Home Depot. I've gotten them at my farm store too, but you'd have to take your case in and see what size you needed. You'd have to experiment. Okay, so sharp side down, center. Okay, so I've got my 4 holes. I'm going to turn this. Now I have, okay. I have my hole pattern here, and That one did better than normal. What am I? Okay. When you look at it, this is foot number 1, 2, 1, matches 1, 2, 3, and 4. So put that down on top. And these match better than most of the time. So these two match perfectly on this side. On this side, I feel like they're just a little bit too far this direction. So I'm going to redo these 2 holes. So I'm gonna mark it. This is 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to fix hole 1 and 3. To do that, I'm just going to cut a little piece of paper bigger than the hole. Tape it on the back side. Because I'm going to re-punch those holes. But let me double check this, because when I'm talking and filming, sometimes two. Okay. So if your hole's not in the right spot, fill your hole, and then let's re-punch again. And I feel like I need it just to be a little bit more that direction. So lining it up. Oops. And now you're punching through 2 layers in some spots, so it's a little bit harder to punch through. I didn't need much. This is the best template that I've made. Oops. So I'm going to scratch out these numbers because this is the back now. The front, let's see, I've got hole number 4 here, so I need to turn it around. Hole number 1. Whoa. Did I do that right? 1, 2, 3, 4. I have this turned around. I have it turned around. Okay. There we go. Maybe I don't. I think I'm losing my mind. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. This should go like this. Okay, I've got number 1, 2, 3, 4, all matching up. Whew. And they match perfectly. No problem when I glue them down. They will work right around those feet. Sometimes I usually have 2 that line up perfect, and then I have to hole punch the other 2 or 3 times to get it in the exact right spot. But worked out pretty good. So this, when we put this down on our fabric, we want this to be the right side of the fabric. So you noticed I got confused when I was turning the box around and everything. I'm filming and I'm confused. It just gets confusing when you're trying to figure out which hole goes in which. So 1, 2, 3, 4, we marked them, they match our numbers underneath, our holes match up, and we're ready to make our template now, or finish our template. Okay, I pulled my material around when I glued it, one, to give this bottom extra gluing and stability, and also because I want that to be over, so when I put my bottom on, everything's covered up. So from the edge of the foot out, I don't want it to wrap way to the front. Let's see, I don't want it to wrap way to the front. So I'm gonna give about 5/8 inch and see if that's about the right amount. Past 5/8 inch past the feet. Let's see. So I'm gonna use my quilting ruler. I'm just going to try a 1/2 inch past my feet. And I'm going to line the 1/2 inch mark up. Ooh, yeah. If you get it straighter on if you get it straighter on the typing paper when you do it, it would make it easier, but I didn't on this. So I'm lining my 1/2 inch mark up with the edge of where the edge of the foot would be. And I'm going to run my rotary cutter and just cut this off. Do the same thing all the way around. Line my 1/2 inch up. Let me make sure you're in the window. 1/2 inch. And you could do more or less depending on where your feet are located on your case. The feet are on so nicely. They're either on nicely or they're real loose. If they're on nicely, I'm not going to replace them. Line this up. 1/2 inch. Okay, so now I have my template. That looks really weird to me because this is going crooked. I don't like that, but okay. Next, I'm going to put this on the corner and just make myself a curved corner here so I can cut around it with my scissors. I just want them to be kind of consistent. Use your scissors. Trim those corners. And I'm really bad at cutting, but then you've got your template. Right side of your fabric, foot 1, 2, 3, and 4. And let's see if it fits. Okay. Okay, let me look at it. Okay, foot 1, foot 2, foot 3, and 4. And all my edges of my fabric underneath are going to be covered up. So that's a good template.